Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Homestead to Health. My name is Caitlin, and today what I want to do is show y'all and explain to y'all some things that are going to be happening in the month of April for me. There's some projects coming up, there's planting coming up, and then there's just a lot of minor stuff that I probably won't be able to catch on camera, but I do want to talk about it. So let's go outside and I'm going to show you around. I missed the door. Okay. Come on, Georgie. Beautiful day. Oh yeah, it's looking nice. Oh my gosh. So this is a prime example. If anybody is wondering why I don't typically put makeup on for my videos, or why I'm not like dressed really nice, let me just say, I put on a full face of makeup this morning after doing chores, and because I knew today I wanted to vlog, I wanted to get behind the camera, and so I did my makeup, and then I said hello to you, and I came outside and I immediately found something to do, and my face just started like melting off. It's on my shirt, I don't know if you can see that, but makeup does not last long, and I went back into the house after doing what I had been doing. I went back in the house and I looked in the mirror, and my makeup was like just in streaks everywhere from me having rubbed my face. But yeah, so that's why no makeup. And it's kind of funny because I was doing my chores and I'm like, I'm melting. But alright, now we're back to normal. Okay, so now we're out here on my porch. Actually, my deck. I love it so much. And this is a great place to kind of just do like a spin around and show you general areas. So relative to my deck, there is my large garden space over there. There's my other garden spaces back here along with my greenhouse, and all of my animals are that way. And then there's the front of my house, and I have something awesome happening this month in all three parts. Let's dig in. So my house is a considerably older house. It's got really short ceilings on the inside, and honestly the outside's kind of falling apart. At first glance, my house honestly could use a lot of work, and it does. It needs a lot of work. So what I did yesterday was decide that while my husband is home this time from work, we're going to commit some time into making the front of our house look just a little bit more inviting, a little neater, a little cleaner. So I went through, and our house was literally peeling. It was just kind of cracking and falling apart. There's still some up there. But anything over, I don't know, I can reach 6 feet. Anything over 6 foot tall, that's not my problem. There's a whole world up there that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's something my husband will do. But I did come through with a scraper, and I scraped off all of the old peeling paint. And even though obviously there's paint missing here, it's still, even having just removed that cracking old dead paint off, has done a lot as far as making our house not look as decrepit. You can see how much paint I took off of that window area, and the rest of the house was that way. Well, the rest of the front of the house. We're going to break this up into two jobs, the front and the back. Prioritizing the front, of course, because that's what's being seen. But, I mean, just look how much old paint was on there and cracking off. And you can see up here what that looked like. It's not very pretty. And so, over here towards the front, you can just see that it really just needs something, right? Like, it's a little messy, a little untidy, but it just needs something there to kind of pull it all together. And right here between that post and the window, we're going to add a porch railing. We're going to paint over all of this old paint and just really brighten it up with the new coat, and maybe do some landscaping as far as the children's garden. Over there is my large garden space, and I'm going to be doing all of my planting here in like 8 days, but who's counting? I'm going to be doing all of my planting. If you can see there in the back, I have added a trellis, and that is a homemade bamboo trellis. That's going to be something that I show y'all later, so I'm not too worried about getting up close and personal with it right now. some of the smaller projects that I mentioned that probably won't be shown on camera, we have a crazy amount. I mean, we live basically in the woods. We have a crazy amount of things like poison ivy, poison sumac, and poison oak. And I'm gonna have to get rid of that. And a big way I get rid of that is just by physically removing it with like a weed eater or something like that, or a pair of gloves, and I rip it off. And we don't burn it, we just kind of mow over it a couple of times until it's mulched down into nothingness. But so that probably isn't even worth watching. You should just know it's a bunch of work. Like I said, we just have a lot of it around. If you haven't noticed, if you follow my channel and you haven't noticed, I'm in a much better mood. I had a string of bad luck happen over the course of several weeks, and a lot of it was surrounded the death of animals and just having a really bad time. Much better. I'm in a much better headspace now, and I'm really down to do more and to facilitate having more fun around here. Now that season of like not goodness is over with, I want to have more fun. This pink pool beside me, this was used for a crawfish boil. I'm going to clean it out, I'm going to get it set up, and hopefully have this nice fun play area for my girls set aside, so that while I'm in the gardens or taking care of animals, that they're having plenty of fun. I'm gonna try to find a couple more crafts on Pinterest that I think that would be fun to create here. I know my husband really wants to build an area in the back over kind of where our homemade fire pit is. He wants to make a hangout spot, so that might be something that y'all see, or something we kind of throw together, who knows, but that is part of the plans. So we've covered the front, covered the garden. Let's go to the back. So here we are in the back. Over there are my meat birds. Now my meat birds, only 7 out of 25 of them survived the coccidia that they brought in whenever I got that bad batch from Atwoods. They knocked out a big number of them, but they also knocked out a big number of our egg birds. There's my beautiful egg babies, my fancy flock. Everybody's looking a little droopy today. It's hot in here. Probably want a drink. I really can't wait to get them out. It's at this point now where everybody's so big and it's so hot now in the greenhouse, and I've opened everything up as wide as I can, that I want to get them out of here, because now I'm afraid that being in the greenhouse is doing more damage than good. But I've only got 8 days. Everybody pray for these plants. Pray for the plants. These little guys are going to be okay. So here's my shade box. My shade box is directly underneath my kitchen window, and as you can tell on this very sunny day, this bed doesn't get just a whole lot of sunlight. Now, I do have just about everything that's going to go in this bed. I might put in things like a couple of lettuce seeds, or started lettuce plants, maybe some flowers. But for the most part, everything that is going to be put in this bed is already there. I'm not going to bog it down with a lot of plants. I have plenty of space in my large garden bed over there. I gotta come up with like a cute name for that, because it gets to be quite a mouthful. I have my raised beds, my large garden bed, which will be my squash bed, and then the garden? I don't know. So if you can think of like a cute name for my big garden space over there to help differentiate, you know what, maybe words just aren't my strong suit today. But if you can think of a name for that place, let me know. But like I was saying, I'm not going to be really working here. However, you see this, I'm going to need this. This is what my cucumbers are trellised on in my raised beds. I quit. This is what my cucumbers will grow on in my raised beds, and yeah, so I'm going to be getting rid of this over here, and I'm going to be getting rid of a bunch of all of this other makeshift fencing. Now, recently I built the chicken run off of my chicken coop, but over the course of a couple of days I watched my chickens to see where the weak spots were in the run, and I clipped their wings to see if maybe they were jumping out of it. Couldn't find any weak spots. Yesterday I kept having the same chicken over the course of this week escaping, the same hen. And so the hatch that they used to leave the chicken coop and to go into the chicken run, I had to close that so that I could collect the eggs. And I did that this morning, and I went to go reopen it, and as I did, I saw her. I caught her red-handed? Red-winged? Oh no. But I caught her, and so she's slipping out underneath it. And I have some leftover landscaping staples from the landscaping cloth that I used in the garden. And so what I'm going to do probably this evening is walk along the run and just tap the run down with those staples so that they don't have a chance to go underneath it. Because we have 2 dogs, I'm just not really worried about predator proofing the chicken run, but I do want to chicken proof the chicken run. Because I'll have things in my raised beds that are specific for my chickens that I just don't want them to get into, period. You know, I don't want them into my other garden beds, I don't want them into my fodder feed beds. So that's just something this month that we're going to have to address, is the chicken run. I don't know if you can see them, but the pigs are like, heck no man, it's hot. Here, pig! How's our lovely ladies doing today? Feeling warm? They keep knocking over that hay cradle, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to fix that this month, because you can see it's just wasting a whole bunch of hay all over the place. They got some snacks today. Such a sweet boy. Such a beautiful boy. Okay. I had to come back into the shade because it is really hot today. Very hot and very humid. So, other than fixing the hay cradle and stapling down the chicken run, I really don't have a lot in the way of projects coming up for animals this month. I did want to mention though that if y'all remember, Doe 2 rejected her litter. Not really sure why, but we're gonna troubleshoot a few things, move them around in their cages a little bit, and I'm gonna use some of the plywood that we used for the chicken coop. We got a couple of scraps of that. I'm gonna use that to build a new nesting box for Doe 2 so that she doesn't have to use the bucket, and maybe be more comfortable, and that would be helpful for her. Doe 1 is doing really well with her litter. They're starting to leave the nest, and every now and then, like, I'll go over there, and I'm a little nervous for them. I keep putting them back in the nest just in case they can't figure out how. But they seem to be doing well. So we've talked cosmetic things, about fixing the porch, we've talked about all of the gardening I'm going to be doing, the crafts for the kids, the animals, what's new, what's coming. The only thing I haven't really discussed is my channel, which I guess is pretty important to mention. So a couple of notes on that is I would like to get to a vlogging schedule. That way I could just kind of put out content where people can expect it and it's not so scattered. I do have a conflict there though. I could do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it would work out well as far as like scheduling goes. However, I've kind of come to this decision though that I don't want to just schedule videos. I'm most excited, and I feel like I put out the best videos whenever I just have something I want to discuss or something that I want to like point out. The idea of going to a scheduled thing kind of makes me afraid that some of my videos would just be like filler videos or filler content, and I don't want that. I like having the enthusiasm. I like having the worthwhile content. Is that coming across? Am I coming across the way that I hope to? That I want to do a schedule because I like the idea of doing a schedule, but I'm afraid of putting out empty content. Of course, I always want to stay as absolutely real as possible, and I think the more we go into summer and as things really start to come to harvest, and everything just really starts picking up some momentum, I think that I'll be able to do that, easily put out 3 videos a week. So that might be something that I can do in the future and just work towards, and that's probably what you'll see is, if anything, I'll start putting out at least a solid 2 videos a week, which I think I've actually been doing without realizing, so it won't be that hard of a transition for me. However, relevant to this is that I am finally having some things come out of my garden and come out of like the chicken coop and stuff, the eggs, where I feel like I can do some cook with me videos. I want to show y'all just the diversity and the potential in growing your own food and what that looks like in the kitchen. You don't have to be super skilled. You don't have to be like Gordon Ramsay in there or anything like that. So I'm going to show y'all how to take a few simple ingredients, maybe from your backyard, and how to put those together on a plate so that they're delicious, awesome, and healthy. And that's something that I'm super looking forward to, especially towards this summer. A really big goal of mine is to not only show you how to plant plants and to take care of animals and do all that, and to show you that homesteading can be very modern, but they can also be extremely fulfilling as far as your belly, to fulfill your belly. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to be able to bring content like that to you in the future. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for hanging out in the shade with me as I talk to y'all about what's going to be happening around here, what's happening in the future with my channel, and everything in between. If you haven't already, please subscribe. As this whole video is talking about, I've got some pretty cool things coming up in the future. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all later.